It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, happy to be here with my partners, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Moments away in Boston, it'll be the Celtics going up against the San Antonio Spurs. Checking out the Spurs, they went 2-0 against this team last season, looking to continue that string of victories tonight. And for the Celtics, how about their head coach, Brad Stevens? He's a youthful-looking guy. I know he's over 40, doesn't look it, but he's very, very poised.
Well, truthful. I think the one thing that he is he's a straight-up coach who has a no-nonsense approach. He's comfortable in his own skin, and I think he does look younger than 40.
And, he's a young guy, but he's not afraid to challenge his players, and he keeps an even keel. You won't see him breaking any clipboards. I like this guy.
You may not see him breaking any clipboards. That doesn't mean he doesn't do it behind closed doors.
Well, see, there's a difference.
I know.
We like it when you're behind closed doors breaking them. We just don't want it in public. Don't embarrass us.
Here's Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We are live in Boston, Massachusetts, the gem of New England, as the Celtics are about to go into this interconference contest right here. Well, what better way to spend a Monday night than with the 2K Sports team and the NBA? Welcome, everyone. Chris Webber is joining us at the broadcast table alongside Greg Anthony and David Aldridge on the sideline. This is Kevin Harlan. The Spurs would love to finish off this road trip on a good note. A great start to the season for them, notching 3 wins to tip it off.
And I think for San Antonio, as talented a team as they are, has performed at a very high level this season. Everything's gone according to plan up to this point.
That's why you have to give a ton of credit to the players in terms of how they've played all season. And they aren't done yet.
And before we get going, let's catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge, who had a chance to speak with head coach Brad Stevens. David, what do you have to say?
Well, guys, he has an admiration for what he called the intelligent, efficient offense played by today's opponent. He told me that the thing about this team is that they are so good at identifying the weak spots in an opponent, and they come at you in multiple ways depending on where those weak spots are. He said, we've got to be ready for everything. It's a pretty tall order. Guys?
Thanks, David. And we're watching 2 of the elite teams, Chris, go head-to-head. This one's going to be terrific.
We all know to be the best, you got to beat the best. Both of these teams are focused tonight.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go?
And it's going to be the Spurs off the tip. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court right now for the Spurs, Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard, the 2 stars at the forward spots. Parker and Green are the guard set, and it's Gasol and at the 5 spot. Down to 5 on the shot clock, and it's Leonard missing. Now, here is Irving. The block. Leonard against Hayward. Nobody near Leonard. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. Leonard's got the first basket of the game for the Spurs. And just about a minute into the first quarter, Irving kicks to Hayward. Horford with the screen on Leonard. Hayward goes in.
And Gordon Hayward has increased his scoring average every season he's been in the league. And couple that last year also a career high in offensive efficiency. The guy is just a budding superstar.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. Hayward hits them both.
He's not making any mistakes up there today. Another solid trip to the line for him.
Irving against Parker. He kicks it to Gasol. Passes it to Leonard. Screened by Parker. The dish now to Aldridge. Over Morris. Whistle blows. If that's going to be a travel. On defense, San Antonio. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
Really an intimidating style of defense. I mean, they challenged everything at the rim, and that led them to victory.
That was a big-time block party. Even several shots they didn't even get a hand on were effective.
Green with the ball. He's picked up by Irving. Green, the pass to Parker. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Parker. That shot off, and it's Boston the other way. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
And we all know in a hostile environment, always tough, but they were the better team on that night.
I absolutely love the fire they showed on the road. You really could tell they wanted that.
And guys, this is what you like to see early on, gaining a little confidence from range.
Well, I wouldn't say that's his shot, but it's a shot he can make, and that really opens things up for the offense.
Now here's Parker. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Pacers in Indianapolis.
Yeah, but it wasn't all about himself. He also did a great job at creating for his teammates. So many assists tonight.
Drains it from beyond the arc.
And Morris does a great job keeping his head up, finding his teammate for quality shots.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Here's Gasol. And stolen by Horford. Morris dishes to Smart. And Gasol sends it back.
And really, Gasol does an incredible job getting his hands up in the air, which results in a ton of rejection.
And here's Leonard from 3. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Hayward against Leonard. Hayward kicks to Irving. Horford with the screen on Parker. Pass to Horford. Smart wide open. He fires. No good on the 3. Spurs trail by 6. Parker outside. He dishes it to Green. Screened by Parker. Shot clock at 6. To end the run. Green, no luck. Celtics leading by 6. Inside, here's Morris over Aldridge. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Now look, Marcus Morris, he's a player who's never going to be a star when you look at his stats, but he brings a great amount to the team, usually the heart and soul of his team. He can score in a multitude of ways, inside and outside.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And C-Webb, as you mentioned with Morris, the value he brings in his ability to fill in gaps on a roster. Very much a glue guy that is needed for successful teams.
Well, yeah, Kevin, and I like the mentality that Morris brings to the group. I like his heart. He's never afraid to go at a defender one-on-one, keeps his teammates involved, holds his guys accountable, love his game.
And he can't hit the second.
While the shooting of Morris provides his team with is crucial, just a real valuable part of this team.
Pass to Green. Screen by Parker. Green dishes to Leonard. They get it back, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Marcus Morris picks one up there. And Danny Green, undrafted out of North Carolina. He's been a linchpin of the Spurs' great defense over his career.
You know, 6'6" with that 6'10" wingspan. This is a guy that can block shots like a big man, guards 3 positions, and one of the guys that we call the prototype when you talk about that 3 and D wing player.
First one falls for him. And in the early part of the season, a lot of players, Chris, are just trying to get into the rhythm of the season. When did you feel like the NBA season truly was in full swing for you?
For me, it had to be in full swing day one. I had to be ready because I was playing against the best in my position, and I wanted to establish myself as the best in my position. And so that's where I think that I tried to have an advantage over other players, where guys were trying to get a rhythm. I made sure that I used the preseason for that because I wanted to come into the beginning of the season gangbusters, knowing you're going to have your ups and downs during the season, but this is not something where you could just warm your way up into the season. You better come out ready to go, or you're going to be looking, trying to find your rhythm all year long.
That's a good message all players should hear. Here's Green, following the basket by Kyrie Irving. Screen by Parker, and the officials will call the illegal screen right there. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for the Celtics.
And their offense centered around a 3-point shot. That was the guiding principle on every trip. Their first goal was finding an open look beyond the arc, getting that extra point every chance they could.
Here's Boston now. They're on an 11-1 run right now. Irving passes to Morris. There's the screen. Back to Irving. Morris a screen. Irving kicks to Hayward. To the middle, and stolen by Aldridge. Now here's the fast break. Parker leading the way. It's blocked.
Unbelievable rejection from Smart there. Really using his insane vertical to send that one back. Nice bucket. There's no question about his skills at the offensive end.
Boston leading by 6. To the paint. Here's Morris. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And when Marcus Morris gets a defender in a 1-on-1 situation, Greg, he feels the most at home.
And part of that might be from going up against his twin brother all the time when they were young. Marcus Morris has a great knack to find a shot he likes. Terrific with his mid-range.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
The first one falls.
And the Celtics trade for Kyrie Irving, sending shockwaves back in August. Never before had a pair of 25-point-per-game scorers swap teams in the offseason. That's what you call a blockbuster.
The Spurs making a switch here. Gay's checked in. And he makes both free throws.
And no doubt Irving and IT, both elite offensive weapons. But Irving, 6 inches taller, perhaps more defensive upside, and 3 years younger. The Celtics feel he fits their timeline.
Now here's Leonard. He picked up 33 points in their last one against Indiana. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Irving. The putback. It's good on the putback.
That's just elite defense by Smart, seizing the opportunity and taking it the other way.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
I mean, Al Horford has a complete game. He can hit a big shot. He can get a defensive stop. I mean, even setting a great screen. And let's not forget about his passing. He does it all.
And the Spurs with some changes. Ginobili's checked in for Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. Spurs trail by 10. Aldridge with a screen on Hayward. Mills in the corner. Tries again. No good from Gay.
Some tough D in the paint. Getting between him and the bucket and stopping the easy deuce.
Picked by Horford. Irving kicks to Hayward. For three. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Hayward's got 8 points. And you think about Al Horford setting screens, Chris, he can pick and roll, but he can also pick and pop.
Well, what I like about that, and for those basketball nerds like myself, what that means is he can facilitate. So he's a threat. If he sets the pick, he can go to the hole and finish. But as a defender, you have to be careful because you just can't anticipate that he can step back and knock down the jump shot. And if he's good at that, what about when he steps back, pump fakes, gives you a hands up, spins, and dunks on you? That's what they're talking about.
Here's Morris. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Hayward can hit. Here's Mills. Al Horford with the rebound. Horford's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Leonard against Hayward. Makes it off the glass. He's got 10.
Boy, has he put his foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
Now here's Mills. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Celtics leading by 13. Irving dishes to Hayward. Back to Irving. The feed to Smart. Picked by Horford. They set the pick. Irving from long range. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Ginobili kicks to Leonard. Aldridge with a screen on Hayward. Leonard attacking. Here's Gay. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Gay's got his first 2 points of the night.
Oh, and if you were the defense, you have to be right in the jersey of Gay. A knockdown threat on the catch and shoot.
So the Celtics call timeout, their first. And Kawhi Leonard, the only player other than Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon to be an all-star starter. Greg win the Defensive Player of the Year and win a Finals MVP award.
And Kevin, I think it's fair to say that's some lofty company to be in. You know, you're worried with the retirement of Tim Duncan. Would the Spurs go through a lull? And they found another two-way superstar to kind of build their team around, much in the same in terms of mannerisms as a Tim Duncan.
And a whole new group out on the floor for the Celtics. The Spurs also changing it up. Laverne, he's checked in for Aldridge. And it's Anderson in for Kawhi Leonard. Boston leading by 14. Rozier the pass to Brown. The rebound by Anderson.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Shot from 12. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. Boston's gone 4-7 from three-point range so far in the first. Again, the miss by the Celtics. Spurs trail by 14. Ginobili outside. Now, here's Laverne. Defense right on him. Just 5 to shoot. Ginobili, that's for 2. Rebounded by the Celtics. Here's Rozier. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Here's Tatum. It's hauled in by Gay. San Antonio's gone 0-4 from three-point land to start out. Looking cold from outside. Off target with the free throw line, Jay.
The D pretty much taking that possession off, but the shot's off target with nobody near him.
Rozier kicks to Baines. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Anderson.
And let's quickly take a look at the stats for Gay. Good season for him last year. He averaged 18 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he's been putting up points with regularity. I mean, that's what they depend on, his killer instinct on offense.
Yeah, anytime this club needs a basket, he's their go-to guy. Just an irrepressible, prolific scorer.
And Mills kicks to Anderson. Now the pass to Gay. There's a good screen. Pulls from the top of the key. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
Artful use of the screen there. Gains the separation he needs for a good look.
There's 1:40 left to play in the first. Baines passes to Yabusele. Here's Rozier. He's covered by Gay. On the wing, Brown. Over Ginobili. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Here's Gay. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili.
And Gay is surprisingly finessing the paint. A real offensive juggernaut.
Celtics leading by 14. 58 seconds left to play in the first. Stolen by Anderson. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Leaving the rest of the field in the dust.
Well, while he's out there making a play, everyone else is watching. Solid individual effort right there.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. And the Spurs, Greg, one of the best defensive teams in the league for 2 seasons running.
And it's really all about execution. They seem to just move in concert and stay connected. No silly fouls. And with their length, nothing easy inside.
Tatum's shot is off. Spurs trail by 11. Anderson outside. And here's Mills from the arc. Hits the three-point bomb. Mills has got 5 now.
And they can't allow him too many open looks like that. That's just inviting trouble.
Here's Rozier. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul goes against San Antonio. This is his first free throw of the game.
77% shooter at the line a season ago. Those are better than average numbers.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one.
Oh, the fearlessness by Rozier. That's what helps him earn the trip to the stripe.
Both good from the line that time. Now Mills. They set the pick. From deep. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And so it's the Boston Celtics going into the break with a 10-point lead. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. Right back after this break. We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates.
We expect so much out of each other every single night, and the team is going to go as hard as we go, as well as the other pieces that we have on the team, but we have to control it from a standpoint that we have to play off each other.
Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media, but also, perhaps the most demanding of all, are the expectations they've got for each other.
Oh yeah. They're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from one another. And I got to tell you, it's fun to watch.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
I mean, you saw it. That barrage of threes has them grooving here after one.
Well, there's not enough defensive pressure on the perimeter. We'll see in the second quarter if that gets corrected.
We've got Aaron Baines, Yabusele out there with Tatum. Then there's Brown, and it's Rozier in at the point. That's the Boston 5. And Rozier pulls it down. Celtics leading by 12. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
And the Spurs with some changes. Pau Gasol is checked in for Gay. Green comes in for Manu Ginobili. And Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. Here's Rozier. There's the pick. Passes it to Yabusele. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
And defensively, great anticipation, making a play there on the ball.
And don't forget about the good hand-eye coordination. I mean, he almost corralled it in for the steal.
Here's Rozier. And a miss there on the triple. Spurs trail by 12. Green kicks to Parker. Back to Green. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Anderson outside. Shot clock at 6. Fires from deep. San Antonio again missing. Celtics leading by 12. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Kawhi Leonard has become a go-to scorer, but his focus still starts at the defensive end. He said, my mindset is the same every game. Whoever I'm playing against, I go in and try to stop their best scorer and then try to get myself going on the offensive end. Kevin?
And David, that's what you get with Kawhi. Mr. Consistency, one of the best two-way players in the game. Here's Rozier after the basket by San Antonio. Brown dishes to Tatum. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. And Tony Parker in the 2017 season with the lowest minutes per game average in his career. He was playing so well in the playoffs. I mean, historically well. Then, Greg, as we know, the quad injury in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's pretty clear that that 15-year run he's had as a starter, that window is rapidly closing. But still effective, just no longer the focal point that he once was.
For Boston, they've gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Well, Chris, NBA players will go around to every arena at least once in a season. Does each arena have its own feel and look. And how does that impact players when they play on the floor? A depth perception from the basket to the last row. They've told me that every building feels different. Is that true?
Yeah, every building does feel different, but because every player is different, you know, it just depends on which guy and which arena. You know, I used to love Portland because it was dark in Portland and it felt warm in there. I don't know why. I mean, I can't really even explain that well, but yeah. I used to love playing in Portland. And I know some guys that have an arena that is bright, or they just love getting there, or maybe they just love that city. So a lot of times, I tell you what arena I really loved, and it was the first time I went to Boston Garden, because I just sat and I stretched on the floor probably for the longest of any game, because I sat there and I touched the parquet floor and I got to look up at all the banners, and I, you know, kind of reading the banners there and who played there and what year they won, and tried to remember that team. And so in some arenas it's just special because who's performed there, who's been there before you, and so every arena has a different feel.
That's a great answer. And now the fast break. Anderson with the ball. And here in the second quarter of action, as we approach 4 minutes played, Green kicks to Laverne. And Boston with the rebound. Baines has got 5 rebounds tonight. 14 feet away. That one off the back iron and out.
Pretty high percentage look with the D playing off him. Just couldn't knock it down.
Left side Anderson. And here is Green. 14 points from him the last game against Indiana.
Well, he also made a mark with his passing and had the assist total to show for it.
Parker. They get it back. It'll go. The Boston lead is cut down to just 12 points with the basket from Laverne.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
It can be discouraging, frustrating, but you only have yourselves to blame. Box out.
Now a timeout called by Boston. Well, for the Celtics, their trade with the Nets is the gold standard for asset hunting. But a lot of smaller deals along the way, fortifying their roster.
Yeah, they ended up with the top pick this past year. Though they traded out of it, I mean, have a good chance to even get more top picks. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he's checked in for the Spurs. Leonard comes in for Anderson. Irving passes to Hayward. There's the pick. It's stolen by Green. And here's Leonard from 3. Here's Aldridge. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
Love the grit on the offensive glass. Those are just effort points.
And LaMarcus Aldridge really possesses tremendous shooting touch when you consider this guy's basically a 7-footer, and he's increasing that range. Last season, up over 40% from 3.
And Aldridge doesn't shoot a ton of threes, yet he still earns his keep in that mid-range.
Yeah, on that left block, back to the basket, and with his size, that turnaround, Jay, is just about unstoppable.
But he recovers it. Irving for 3. Horford dishes to Hayward. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. Hayward's got 12 in the game.
And Horford really shows off his nice passing with that dime. For a big man, he sees the floor very well.
Aldridge against Morris. Horford with the rebound.
Look, he had all the time in the world to get the jumper off. Maybe it was too much time.
Parker against Irving. Kicks it to Hayward. Kawhi Leonard comes up with the rebound.
Does well to burrow his way into the post, but loses his touch on the finish.
He feeds it to Parker. Outside for Gasol. To the wing on the left. 6 on the shot clock. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Parker. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Parker's got his first basket.
And when Parker gets space to shoot that jump shot, he is usually money.
Smart kicks to Hayward. Back to Smart, picked by Horford. Smart passes to Morris. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
In the Spurs last season, how about setting the all-time record for consecutive winning seasons with 20? This is a group that's won 50 or more games in every one of those seasons, except the strike-shortened one in '99.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw good for Morris. And Greg, for the Spurs, they're so competitive. It's inevitable. They just win year after year.
Yeah, but that big three of Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, the all-time winningest trio in the history of our league, had a lot to do with it. And as that era comes to an end, they're doing a terrific job of just picking up new star talent without skipping a beat.
And so he hits both. Chris, sometimes when a player is feeling it, in that rhythm, in that groove, there's nothing you can do to slow him down. Is there a player in the league right now who you feel is the deadliest when things are really falling right for him?
I mean, James Harden. How about this guy? Now that he's getting other guys involved, he's so much harder to guard because you don't know if he's going to pass it, ending up in a successful assist, or if he's just going to knock it down in your face. And his range is just so incredible. You do not want to let that man get hot. Also, of course, we know Curry. You better not let him get hot because he'll do some incredible things. And then his teammate, his boy, his partner, Klay Thompson. I mean, just the way that these guys shoot is just so fun to watch. So, I mean, these guys, when you talk about deadly from anywhere, anytime, you got to guard these guys like they used to say when they get in the parking lot. Not when they get in the arena. You got to start guarding them in the parking lot because they can score at any time.
Great way to see the alley-oop. That replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team.
Yeah, and they got the better of this matchup both times they faced off last season. Do they still have their number?
Well, there's also that East versus West thing. Each team leading their respective conference. This is a clash of the big dogs, and one that could have ramifications down the road.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Rudy Gay's checked in for Gasol. And it's Mills in for Danny Green. And Mills kicks to Leonard. No good, unable to end this run.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Here's Irving. And it's sent back by Aldridge. Mills with it, now defended by Hayward. Parker dishes to Mills. Feeds it to Leonard. Aldridge a screen. Leonard attacking. Outside Aldridge. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Aldridge has got 6 in the quarter.
He just looks more engaged this second quarter. A far cry from his disappointing play in the first period.
Smart with the ball. 11 points for him in that last game against Miami. The 19-foot shot. Morris, no good. Spurs trail by 13. Nobody near Gay. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
When Gay is knocking down the perimeter jumper, he's very dangerous. Given how long his arms are, good luck at trying to catch up to his release in time if you were the D.
Now, here is Irving. He had a 30-point outing their last game against Miami.
His rebounding stood out, too. He gave them a big lift on the board.
And Kyrie Irving very steady with the ball in his hands. Not a lot of turnovers for a player who handles the ball as much as he does.
Yeah, I mean, he makes great reads. Pick and roll, drives, kicks. He keeps his dribble low, but sometimes he has his dribble high. He's great at the pocket passes, great off pick and rolls, great at screens, and can space the floor.
One shot,
Ginobili's checked in for Parker.
among the most feared one-on-one scorers in the league, that is Kyrie Irving. He has the handles to get to wherever he wants, no matter where he is on the floor. He's a threat.
Now here's Mills. He's got 5. And it's sent back by Horford.
Wow, the rim protection by Horford. I mean, Al Horford standing 6'10", always played big.
Knocks it loose. Ginobili with the steal. And the foul on Marcus Smart. That is his first foul of the game. And Kyrie Irving sniffing that 50, 40, 90 territory. 50% from the field, 40% from deep, 90% from the line. He is that kind of shooter. And Chris, what a handle.
Yeah, he's not just a stationary threat. It's his creativity combined with that efficiency. That's what makes him so deadly.
And that one drops for him.
And then the razor-sharp focus of Gay. Never letting defenders get to him on these shots.
And Hayward with the stuff.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
Laverne, he's checked in for the Spurs.
One shot.
Free throw drops for Hayward. And the Celtics franchise with the league-leading 17 NBA championships, their last in 2008.
Yeah, and with the talent and assets they possess, they might be in the hunt for banner number 18 before you know it. One of the beasts of the East, without question. And I bet you'll never see too many guys who can put forth an effort on the boards like this one.
It's effort, it's ability. He also has incredible instincts.
Now, here is Morris. 9 points last game out. Morris a screen. Here's Irving. And that one is good. Irving's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
And it's Gay again missing.
Look, it hasn't happened yet, but he's got time to find his rhythm. And if he does, they can turn this thing around quick.
Irving passes to Morris. Here's Hayward. Oh!
And as a wing player, Hayward's just so good at attacking the basket. I think that's a big part of what makes him special. Doesn't take much of an opening for Hayward to make his move.
And San Antonio has possession following the bucket by the Celtics.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
We've got 1:08 left to play here in the half. Dishes to Horford. Three-pointer. Second chance shot. And here's Morris for 3. Laverne grabs the miss. Laverne's got his 4th rebound in this one. Ginobili kicks to Laverne. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Ginobili's got 3 assists in the game. Over to the wing. Pulls up. And it's Horford again missing. Spurs trail by 14. Here's Gay. Laverne up again. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Oh, man, just beast mode on the glass there. He was not going to be denied on that play.
The dish to Hayward. He kicks it to Horford. Again, the miss by Horford. Spurs shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Gay. And it's Gay again missing.
Yeah, that's just poor decision making. He's got to be better in those situations.
I'd love to hear his explanation to coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
Irving's shot is good.
Did you see that? How committed Irving is. Once he's in the paint, he's looking to score.
And so it's Boston, sitting with a comfortable lead, up by 14. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with head coach Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think was the main edge you had?
Well, I thought defensively we were a lot better, and then that led to some offense. But obviously, we're playing a bunch of skilled guys, and we're able to spread the floor, and that's helpful.
You have to make them work at both ends. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, y'all. Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Gordon Hayward has been all over the floor tonight. He ended up with 17 points and 1 rebound. His last game out, he was just not himself. But tonight, he has rounded right back into form with a very solid first half. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
I was really impressed by the versatility of Gordon Hayward. He's made himself a dangerous three-point shooter. He can drive, he can post up, he finishes in transition, all within the flow of the offense. And if you do find a way to slow him down, he's just as comfortable setting up his teammates.
Shaq, what did you see from San Antonio?
Their field goal percentage reminds me of Kenny's breath. Brutal. Not reading the defense, not getting enough quality looks. They need to make major changes because the system they ran in the first half was not working.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
Welcome back, everyone. There's State Station. That's where you get off the T if you're going to go visit the old State House here in Boston. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Really an incredible game from Gordon Hayward. On the floor for San Antonio, Parker and Green are the guard set. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Laverne. And it's Gasol at the center position.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Oh, wonderful anticipation. He reads the play perfectly. Then with the quick reaction time.
Takes it from 10. Tries again. It's deflected. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players. The first free throw is good. And Chris, it's a players' league, and yet the officials, of course, have an impact on games. I'm thinking of a certain Game 6 back in 2002. In your opinion, how does the league ensure greater consistency with the officiating of games?
Well, I promised myself, Kev, and thanks for bringing up 2002, that I would never think about that aloud. You know, I'm going to have to go lay on somebody's couch after we do this game right here. But I think the league just has to be transparent. They have to let fans know when the ref has messed up. We're all human, so I think it comes into play when you aren't transparent, when you aren't honest with your fans, because we have the smartest fans of any sport, I believe. And so I think transparency is good, but human error is always going to be in there as long as it doesn't go back to the type of human error we saw in 2002.
But, Chris, I do sense that is a goal of theirs, and bit by bit they're getting toward that goal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I believe that our league has done some great jobs when it comes to advancing referees and how the game is officiated. When you look at, not only do we have the referee center back in New York, where the referees now can go and get help, and the game is faster. And also, you know, we have 3 refs on the floor, and so and we have the best condition refs. And so I think the game is just going to be better because we have passionate refs, we have passionate officials, and passionate players, and we're going to work together to make sure that this game is the best for every fan to be presented to, and also that every player has a chance to win a championship and don't have their heart broken.
Celtics leading by 17. Smart dishes to Morris. And the shot goes in. Morris has got 12 points in the game.
Terrific use of the catch-and-shoot jumper for Morris, catching the D flat-footed and torching them as a result.
On the wing, Green. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got his 3rd assist on the night. For Boston, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Outside Irving. Morris a screen. Pass to Smart. And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
And that one falls for Smart. And the 6th pick in the 2014 draft out of Oklahoma State, one of the Cowboys, Marcus Smart, might not put up eye-popping numbers, Chris, but they love what he brings to the table.
Yeah, it's all about his heart. I mean, his offensive game has been a little slow to develop. He doesn't shoot great percentages, but when his team needs him most, it seems like he always has a big impact on the game, whether offensively, defensively, a big rebound. He's just a good luck charm for them. He's almost like the leprechaun.
Parker passes to Gasol. Back to Parker. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for Boston.
And when you come into a game with the mindset of going right at the rim and not settling for outside shots, this is what your shot chart will look like. Every chance they've had to either attack the paint or play back to the basket, they've taken it, and it's been a complete success thus far.
Here's Smart. Hits the three-point bomb. Smart's got 5 now.
And that's how you build confidence in your shot. Smart, able to set his feet off the catch and shoot.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
Yeah, you know, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Well, this is the dilemma as a coach. You wonder, do I need to call a timeout here? Do I need to settle these guys down? Should I let them play through?
Gordon Hayward with another strong contribution so far in this one.
Wow, it's time for them to switch up their defense on, because what they've been doing so far is not working.
Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for the Spurs. 3 minutes gone now in the 3rd quarter. Anderson the screen. Parker kicks to Green. Spurs passing it around. Just 5 on the clock. Deflects the pass, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Morris.
And let's take a look now at the stats for Smart. Some last season stats for him. Last year, averaged 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. When you have a shooter like him off the bench, it makes scoring so much easier for the bench.
Yeah, when he's taking on the scorer's role for that second unit, then the others can go focus on what they naturally do best.
And it's Green missing. Celtics leading by 21. Morris dishes to Hayward. Pass to Smart. Oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. A 3 from Morris. He can't get that one to fall. So the Spurs will take it the other way. And Anderson kicks to Green. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Boston's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17.
And the powerful frame of Horford, I mean, enabling him to rumble through the defensive resistance to put it home.
San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Anderson outside. Here's Aldridge. Nice touch on the bank shot. Aldridge has got 8 points. The Celtics have gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. Now, here is Irving. 15 points in the game. Hayward outside. Horford with the screen on Anderson. Stolen by Anderson. Oh, and here comes Anderson all alone. Lays it in off the breakaway. He's got 5.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
I mean, look, I was going to say you're attacking on both ends, quickly going from defense to offense.
Horford the pass to Smart. Over Green. And that one goes long.
Now, this has just been a bad shooting game, a horrible shooting game from him.
The feed to Aldridge. Looking for Anderson. He gets it there. Yes, that goes in. Anderson's got 4 points in the quarter.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Irving kicks to Smart. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
And after a scoreless first half, you're starting to see signs of life here in the second.
This will be his 3rd free throw shot of the game.
And last season, he was successful 81% of the time when he went to the line, so he didn't waste a lot of opportunities.
One shot. One shot.
And that one falls for Smart. The Spurs offense, one of the most efficient in the NBA. It's all predicated, Greg, on motion.
And it's ball movement and player movement. They kind of want to warp the defense and force mistakes, and that's when they strike.
And it's sent back by Horford. And the block shot turns into a shooting foul. So the defensive effort there a bit too much, as the officials will send him to the line, and he'll shoot some free throws. The Spurs shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. And some changes here for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Horford. Jaylen Brown comes in for Smart. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving. And so LaMarcus Aldridge nails them both. Celtics leading by 18. Here's Rozier. He dishes it to Brown. The pass to Rozier. Misses the 3.
Oh, it's a confidence shaker when you can't hit a wide open 3 like that.
And it's in there. Parker's got his 2nd basket.
Yeah, and even though he's a little older now, Parker still possesses exceptional speed. He really turns on the Jets in transition for easy looks like that one.
Hayward dishes to Baines. They set the pick. Passes to Brown. Clock at 6. Over Green. That's short off the rim. Spurs trail by 16. Fires for 3. They grab their own miss. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. The Spurs have shot a good percentage from the free throw line so far. They've made 5 out of 6.
Shooting 2.
That free throw, no good. Well, Chris, you can't shortchange this roster. But their coach, Brad Stevens, one of the best in the game.
Well, you remember his 6 years at Butler? He took them to the title game twice. I mean, what he's done with this team is no less impressive.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Yabusele, he's checked in for Morris. And it's Tatum in for Gordon Hayward. He hits the second from the line. Boston leading by 15. Pass to Yabusele. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Yabusele's got 6.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
You know the saying, numbers don't lie. You can see it up there on the scoreboard.
Gay passes to Anderson. Teardrop shot, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Two shots.
Free throw, good, Anderson. Both free throws good from Anderson. Boston leading by 15. Here's Rozier. Pass to Yabusele. The pass to Rozier. Shot clock at 5 from 12 feet out. San Antonio with the rebound. Aldridge has got 5 rebounds tonight. Gay, that's a 2-pointer. A rebound by the Celtics. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. They host the Kings after this game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. Here's Yabusele. Gay with the block.
And Gay has put a ton of work into his defense over the years. Specifically, it's how he times blocking those shots.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Here's Rozier, covered by Mills. Tatum wide open, he fires one. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. And the Celtics lead by 15.
Yeah, you got to admire his instincts offensively. Tatum does a great job of shooting it in rhythm off the pass.
Gay can't get it to go.
Another miss, and you have to wonder if this just isn't his night.
Tatum kicks to Brown. Now Tatum. Back to Brown. Over Ginobili. And Ginobili pulls it down. Ginobili's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Mills in the corner. Ginobili with a screen on Brown. And here's Mills for 3, and Tatum pulls it down.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And with a moment, let's check out the stats for Ginobili. Last season's performance for him, he was around 7 points per, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And you know, he'd love a bigger role, but he's trying to prove himself in the minutes he's getting right now.
Yeah, you're right, but he's putting in the work, and the results have been okay. He just needs to keep believing in himself.
That's good from Rozier.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
A different look now for San Antonio. Laverne comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Leonard in for Kyle Anderson. Both shots good from the stripe. Spurs trail by 17. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Ginobili kicks to Leonard. A baseline J, and Baines pulls it down. Baines has got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
He is just really almost playing for the other team. The shooting has just been poor.
And we see a chart here for the shooting performance so far for Gay.
And looking at this shot chart, you can't help but feel that this entire team has played passively on offense. There has been little to nothing going on at the rim or in the paint for that matter. And when you don't attack the defense and put pressure on them down low, you are making life far too easy on them.
First free throw is good.
Well, and the Celtics bringing in Brad Stevens as head coach in 2013. That same summer, they made their blockbuster trade with the Nets. 2 home run moves for their franchise.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And the Celtics signed Brad Stevens to a 6-year contract to lure him away from Butler in college basketball. Chris, they were very confident he'd be a great coach.
Well, they might want to pull out their pen and have him sign another 6-year deal real quick because he's already established himself as one of the league's top coaches.
Here's Ginobili, just 4 to shoot. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
And let's take a look now at Kawhi Leonard's numbers. He's coming off an excellent season. 7th in steals, 9th in scoring, and ranked in the top 15 in free throw percentage. Tremendous confidence and technique at the line.
And like a thief in the night, he will pick your pocket clean. Top 10 in steals, as you said last year, always a threat to cause a turnover.
Oh, beautiful looking 3-ball from Rozier, really expanding his range.
Mills dishes to Laverne. It's stolen by Brown. Ginobili kicks to Gay. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Gay's got 11 points. Celtics leading by 20. Here's Rozier. 9 points in the game so far. To the wing right side. Nice shot from the wing. He's got 11.
Oh, fantastic shot by Rozier. I mean, exactly the kind of shot you want him taking when he's got space.
San Antonio's gone into a slump here from 3-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Here's Leonard, 11 feet out, and he hits it.
Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
We've got 1:23 left in the third quarter. Here's Rozier, 11 points in the game. Kicks it to Baines. And it's Boston with another.
Well, there you go. I mean, if they're going to keep giving up open jumpers, they're going to keep getting burned.
Feeds it to Laverne. Baines with the block, and he gets it back. The Spurs have made their free throws at a pretty good clip. They've hit 8 of 10.
And they had a lot of success a season ago as a team, hitting about 80% of their free throws.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good.
Yeah, and the work they've done at the line has been impressive here in the second half.
He hits one and misses one, each at the line. Watching Jason Tatum, it's hard to find many faults in his game, Greg. He's strong inside and out and plays both ends of the floor equally well.
Yeah, kind of a jack of all trades, right, and master of none. He does everything reasonably well on the basketball floor, just doesn't do anything great. Having said that, though, Tatum is one of those guys that I think improves the overall IQ of your team and terrific size at his position.
Oh, you love the level of concentration Brown maintains. I mean, taking the hit well and finishing in style.
They set the pick. Ginobili kicks to Gay. He feeds it to Mills. Dishes to Leonard. From downtown. Again, Leonard missing. Here's Rozier. He's got 11. Here's Tatum. Hits the front of the rim and out. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Celtics out in front, running away with it. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Greg Popovich.
Nobody holds the ball, not even 1001. You catch it, it's a shot, it's a drive or pass, whatever you got.
Specific instructions from Greg Popovich. If you don't have a clean look, don't have an open lane, move the ball.
Yeah, and the key is fast decision making, and that takes great recognition from all five guys in terms of communication. That's really what we call chemistry.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. We've got Yabusele. Kyrie Irving is out there with Smart. Then there's Horford. And it's Tatum in at the 3 spot. That's the Boston 5. That shot wide open. And that's now 9 points for Al Horford.
Oh, nice look there from Smart, finding the open man.
And Mills kicks to Gay. Chris, as we all know, you grew up in the Detroit area. It's a town that has seen glory days and hard times. Talk about what it means to you to come from Detroit and what you see in the future for the Motor City.
Well, it means everything to me to be a Detroiter. I think that's what made me successful in my career, is that I took on the heart of the city and the fact that it's a hard-hat town, a blue-collar town, and you have to earn your keep and you have to wish positive for the future. And so it's been great coming from there, and the hard times being from there, you know that we're resilient, and so it's great to see positive energy enter back into the city. It's great to see the Pistons play in the city for the first time in over 20 years, and so I see the future is bright for Detroit because Detroiters are always there, and as long as we have the people, everything else will be great.
You and I broadcast the last game in the Palace, and I'm wondering what you think the impact will be with the Pistons, as you just talked about, in their brand new building.
I think the impact would be great, but for fans. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to see the city. I wanted to see our team play, and I only lived a few miles from downtown, but about 30 or 40 miles from the Palace, and so I'm happy that the kids that supported the team, that dreams about being a Piston one day, I'm glad they finally get to go to a game. I'm glad that Detroit finally gets to really call the Pistons their own. What is it going to do? It's going to infuse positivity, and so hopefully for everyone, it's a positive environment. The floater's a tough shot, even when you're that close to the bucket.
Celtics leading by 19. Smart kicks to Horford. The kick out to Irving. Good D by Parker.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Green, the screen, and here's Leonard from 3. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. And that's 15 points for Kawhi Leonard. The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Morris with the screen for Smart. And he can't stop the run as he misses. Spurs trail by 16. And the wide open shot from Green. And Boston with the rebound. Morris has got 6 rebounds in the game. Outside Irving. Horford the pass to Irving. Over Parker. Again, Irving missing. For San Antonio, they've gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. And it's Jason Tatum with the foul. That's his first foul. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Tatum. And San Antonio also making a switch. Aldridge is checked in. And here is Parker. Outside Leonard. He kicks to Aldridge. The dish to Gasol. Over Horford. Gasol no good. Celtics leading by 16. Here's Hayward. Great D that time from Leonard. And San Antonio shooting at 36% on the night. They've got to step it up offensively. Parker's gotten 3 of his 8 shots to go, around 37%. Here's Hayward, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Hayward's got 21 in the game.
Well, he's been the safety valve for them on every possession. So dependable.
Aldridge a screen. Green kicks to Leonard. Off the pick. Good work there as it goes. Leonard's got 11 points here in just the second half.
Yeah, and from mid-range, Leonard's jump shot is money. It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble or catch and shoot. He never loses his touch.
Irving, good.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Team ball. Great execution on offense. Everyone working together. You wish you could have that on every play.
The 15-footer. Here's Gasol, and it's sent back by Horford. Tries it again, and oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That one on Horford.
Two shots.
That free throw, no good. Chris, if you were on the rules committee, what rule change would you like to see the NBA make going forward?
Kevin, there's not a rule I'd necessarily have changed, but I'd ask them to kind of reinterpret a couple of rules, and that goes with the flagrant foul. I often see so many plays that are just hard fouls called as flagrant fouls, and that can affect not only a player and later on whether it's a flagrant 2, but it can affect the game. It can affect the next game by how it's interpreted by a player being kicked out because of that. And so I just want to take the sensitivity or put the toughness back into that. So many flagrant fouls are called and they're not going at the head, or they're chopping down on the wrist, and I just like to see it get back to be interpreted as it was a little while ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago.
Irving kicks to Hayward. Back to Irving. Morris inside. Aldridge on him. Lock at 6. Smart misses.
It's been a rough game for him, but it won't sting too bad as long as they hang on to the lead.
Green kicks to Leonard, and there's the feed to Aldridge. Kicks it out to Leonard. Fires from the corner. Rebound Boston. Horford's got rebound number 17, if you can believe that. And a wide open look for Irving. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Now, he doesn't look like himself right now. Nothing is going his way.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's foul number 2 for him.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Parker with it. Aldridge a screen. Parker dishes to Leonard. 6 to shoot. That one doesn't go. Now the Celtics take it the other way. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead.
And it doesn't even matter that he's surrounded on that possession. He's got the size to pull those boards down anyway.
Here's Smart, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
Oh, and I think working himself to the line, an area where Smart really can excel. I mean, he's built for contact, that's for sure.
And Al Horford, a cornerstone player. Chris, he's that straw that certainly stirs the drink.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know he's a winner. I mean, anybody can remember his career from his days at the University of Florida where he won a championship.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
First one falls for him.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Marcus Smart might be the most physically imposing point guard in the league, especially with his fiery approach to the game.
And so, Smart nails both of them.
After being a little hesitant in the first, he looked much more intent on getting himself to the stripe.
Parker kicks to Leonard. Shoots from 12. Again, Leonard missing. Boston leading by 18. Here's Morris. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. That's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
Wow, look at Morris, just using that big body of his to draw contact. The defense has a tough time matching up with him.
And there had been a will he or won't he feeling with Gordon Hayward's free agency. Tough choice, I gotta believe, for him to leave Utah, but you can see why he wanted to join forces here with the Celtics.
Two shots.
That free throw, no good. And Boston was the heavy favorite to sign Gordon Hayward, and ultimately the opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
And he's reunited with his college coach, Brad Stevens. This team has a great path to make a deep playoff run, and this just adds another star to a very balanced roster.
That's off as well, so he misses both. Spurs trail by 18. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Parker passes to Leonard. Over Hayward. Here's Gasol. And the bucket counts. Three-point chance here.
The wherewithal from Gasol there, nailing the shot despite the tough defense all over. And Pau Gasol, one of the most skilled 7-footers this league has ever seen. Whether it's the low post, high post, flaring off picks, you want the ball in his hands.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
That free throw good from Gasol. And Pau Gasol, a very good perimeter shooter, starting to stretch his range out beyond that three-point arc.
Yeah, his face-up game is becoming more and more prominent. Working from that elbow, he's become more of a triple threat. He can shoot it, drive it, and pass at a high level.
And the call will be against Al Horford. That'll be foul number 5 on him, and due to the bonus, will be headed to the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one.
And one thing you can say about Green, I don't know of too many players who are as dependent on their three-point shot as he is. He needs that shot to be falling for him to make an impact.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Here's Smart. Right side Irving. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Irving's got 5 points now in the quarter.
I love the aggressive mentality. Irving is terrific at pouncing on any available lane to the basket.
Leonard against Hayward. Green dishes to Aldridge. The shot will not fall. Good work defensively by Morris. Smart kicks to Irving. In the corner, Horford with it. No good with the triple. Spurs trail by 15. Parker passes to Aldridge. Gasol, and that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Gasol. Celtics leading by 15. Hayward with the ball. He's picked up by Parker. Irving kicks to Morris. And Gasol sends it back. San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Look from Green. San Antonio getting another chance here. Back to Gasol. Plays it up and banks it in.
He's feeling it this half. Total turnaround after a rough first half.
One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
That's just outstanding awareness from Irving right there. Remarkable at finding his guys when they're wide open.
Irving against Parker. Outside Leonard. Green, the screen. Leonard dishes to Gasol over Horford. That's good from Gasol on the assist by Leonard. Gasol's got 9 points now in just the second half. Outside Irving. Hayward against Leonard. Hayward passes to Irving. Count the basket. Irving's got 7 points for the quarter.
Oh, I love seeing Irving get cooking. He's an elite scorer who can fill it up fast.
Now here's Parker. He dishes it to Aldridge. Passes to Green. And it's sent back by Horford. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. And the Spurs making a change here. Mills is checked in. Leonard against Hayward. Shot clock at 6. The floater, and Green with the lay-in.
Oh, the floater's a tough shot, even when you're that close to the bucket.
Celtics leading by 13. Here's Irving. Lays it up off the glass. Irving's got 24.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
And defensively, you know he's feeling good right now. And as the opposing team, you better adjust your scheme accordingly.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
And, Kevin, he saw his guys just a little sluggish out there. Oftentimes, a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Al Horford.
And the D tried to get physical with him down low tonight, and it really backfired. Instead, he's just tore them up. He was aggressive, inviting the contact, and really just taking it straight to him.
A really solid performance here in front of the home crowd. He may not be the star of this team, but nights like this are what make him a fan favorite. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
During that break, Greg Popovich really had some strong advice for his team. He is not happy with the turnovers. He said, we have got to get some shots. It's as simple as that, guys. Play smart and value the basketball. We'll see if the message sunk in, Kevin.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
You know, when he was in high school in California, Kawhi won the state's Mr. Basketball Award. And you look at the list of guys who've won that award over the years, it has a lot of the all-time greats on it.
He's perfect from the line this time. Guys, a good chance for them to slow it down.
Yeah, they definitely should use some clock here.
And that one's good, Irving.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Oh, yeah, up by double digits. They're trying to keep the momentum, keep the foot on the neck. That's his focus right now.
Gasol kicks to Mills. Irving with the steal. Hayward outside. Wide open look. San Antonio with the rebound. And now in transition is Mills. Here we go. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for the Celtics.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. 1:43 left in the fourth quarter. Leonard against Irving. Hayward outside. Here's the three. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got 6 assists here tonight.
And now they are probably too far ahead. It's going to be nearly impossible to get back in this one.
That's why you can't let yourself get in this deeper hole. Very little time now to climb out.
Here's Aldridge. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And we know this league is enjoying great success. The Players Union going into last season created a program, Chris, to fund health insurance for all retired players with 3 or more years of service.
Well, I'm proud of our Players Union. I hope that other sports take lead. You know, you take care of those that come before you. That's one thing in the NBA we always know, and the players will always respect. That's why it was a unanimous vote by the Players Association. It definitely was a proud moment. I'm proud of my NBA brothers.
That free throw missing. Parker's checked in for Patty Mills. And the second free throw, good.
Boy, he'd sure like to have that miss back. Hard to chip away at a lead when you're leaving freebies at the line. And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for Boston.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight they had both.
Yeah, and listen, you only get the assist if the guy you give it to makes the shot. So a lot of assists will up your field goal percentage, but this is a great team effort by everyone.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
A very solid win indeed. And when you check out the box score, there were some great numbers for Al Horford.
The energy he played with tonight was amazing, and it paid off the most on the glass where he dominated the rebounding stats.
And Leonard gets it to go.
Oh, the feed was perfect. The timing, the placement, everything was right on the money.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Morris a screen. Irving drives in. Out to Hayward. Fires the three. Rebound, Kawhi Leonard. Nobody near Parker. Off the left rim and out.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Well, sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. A confident win, and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. And I think they built off that edge of being here and play with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in, and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.